Hello, everyone. This is the Brooklyn White Shields. We are, as far as I'm aware, the first ever and only ever ITC All Youth competitive team. We are going to be ranking June Solar Cult units today. You can see our player stats on the screen with our last names blotted out. And yeah, my name is Silas. I'm here with Ben. Ben, do you have anything you want to say?
My name is Ben. I've been playing GSC for 2 or 3 years, and I'm the single best GSC player on the Brooklyn White Shields.
He is also the only GSC player on the Brooklyn White Shields. Ben is also our most humble player, as you can tell. All right, so we are going to switch over. We are to on the tier list. Ben, do you have your app up?
I do.
All right, so our first unit of the day, we're going to be going infantry first, and then we're going to be going up. So let's see. Our first unit of the day is Neophyte Hybrids. Ben, where do we put Neophyte Hybrids? Oh, also, we should explain... Hold on, really quickly. I should explain our tier system. Let's put that back down there. We have at the top Hive Mind. Then we got Patriarch, Cult Reliables, Cult Outcasts, and Hive Scum. Basically, Hive Mind is going to be sort of auto-take units, units that almost every single one of the top GSC lists you'll look at will have at least one of, and you need to have a very, very good reason not to take it. Then the Patriarch level is units that are extremely good. This is sort of your, if you're trying to make a really competitive list, these are units that you're choosing between to build out your list. Cult Reliables are units that aren't necessarily good or bad. They can fit into a competitive list if supported properly, but they aren't going to be the best of the best. Then Cult Outcasts are units that aren't very good. Usually they're very specific, they have a very niche role, or they require an enormous amount of support to be used. It's possible they could appear in a competitive list if you have some cool tech you're using with them or something, but most of the time you're never going to use them in competitive play. And lastly, we have Hive Scum, units that are so bad that GW was probably on something while making them. Ben, do you have any comments before we start doing units?
No, I think we can just get into it.
Alright, so Neophyte Hybrids. What can you tell me about Neophyte Hybrids? How many points are they?
So you got your two unit sizes. So for 10 Neophytes, you have 90 points, and 20 blobs are 180.
Alright, so 10 is 90, and 20 is 180.
Yep. And stat line wise, they've got the guardsman stat line: 6-inch move, T3, 5-up save, 1 wound, OC2.
Alright, great.
Which is important. You have OC2.
OC2. Actually, I don't think I knew they had OC2. That's quite good. So basically,
they are a battle line unit.
Not all battle line units have it. A lot of Marine battle line units don't, actually. Which is strange, because it means that if a unit of, 10 Marines and 10 Neophytes on an objective, most of the time the Neophytes hold it.
And one of the things that makes them really survivable is the Cult Icon. Free war gear. All war gear is free now. Every turn you get to add 3 dead guys back to the unit as long as the guy holding the banner is alive. And if you're on an objective, it's 3 plus D3.
That is quite good, actually. And then they've, of course, what do infantry revive on for the GSC Cult Ambush?
So it's first 2 rounds you add 1 to the roll, and if they're a battle line unit, which Neophyte Hybrids are, you add an extra 1 to the roll. So for the first 2 rounds, Neophytes are coming back on 3-ups because you come back on a 5-up plus 2. And then in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th battle rounds, Neophytes will be coming back on 4-ups.
So that is not bad at all. For their cost, reviving that like infantry, is there any worthwhile damage output in Neophytes?
Well, massed auto guns always do a good job of chip damaging things. You've got your classic crack grenade launchers, which I think are the best special weapons. You get to choose between Weber's, which Silas and I have debated on this. but
I
they're
actually,
strength 2.
yeah. So I like Weber's. I think Weber's are good. Ben
And I do not.
notably disagrees with me. Let me pull up the Neophyte hybrids real quick because
I've got it. So, the
yeah.
Weber is both the Flamer and the Weber are 4 d6 shots, damage 1, AP 0, 12 inches.
Yes.
But the difference between them is that the Weber is strength 2, dev wounds, AP 0,
Mhm.
and the Flamer is just flat strength 4. So the Flamer is a lot more reliable, but the Weber has a lot more potential damage.
So here's what I like about the Weber, right? If you look at the Neophyte hybrids, and you look at their warrior options, for every 10 models,
You get 20 into 10. You get 4 and 20 blob.
you get 4 and 20 blob, right? So if you're putting 4 in a 20 blob, yes, the Flamers have the utility of Overwatch. The grenade launchers can do damage to vehicles. But the thing about Webers, you're getting 46 attacks, so that is 12 attacks average. And you roll a hit.
No,
It's torrent, yeah, okay, exactly, it's torrent. So while you're within 12, it's torrent. So that's 12 attacks. On average, you're going to get 2 devastating wounds. So no matter what target in the game you're shooting at, Neophyte hybrids, specifically objective holding unit, is going to do at least 2 damage to literally any target, if not more. That's like minimum damage, right? And then because you also have the heavy weapons, right? You've got the mining laser, heavy stubber, or seismic cannon. You can tech to do real damage to other things, but you can have that, like, no matter what, you know you're gonna get a couple dev wounds, and that's like the reliability of that. I think is super useful.
I still like the grenade. My pick is for the grenade launchers on your special weapons.
Yeah,
Just
the
because,
grenade launcher
the
for everyone.
range-
The crack version
grenade
is
launcher is
one
flat.
shot, hitting on
Flat.
4, strength 9, AP 2 damage, D3. But the thing is, if you can already tech into anti-tank by taking mining lasers if you would like, and the fact that they're strength 9 means that they're still not going to be wounding. And if you're not going to be wounding anyways, why wouldn't you just take Webers?
Well, don't put it into tanks. You put those into elite infantry.
Yeah, but you put Webers into elite
maybe.
infantry too. You can put Webers into anything. And the grenade launcher frag version is D3 shots, strength 4. Actually, that's not bad. I kind of like them for their
So full
frag.
parts and guardsmen.
Having strength 4 means that you're wounding Marines on force, which is not actually that bad. So I think the grenade launcher frag edition is actually better than the crack at dealing with elite infantry.
I like the grenade launcher. I will always run grenade launchers on my guys.
Alright, I think grenade launcher is acceptable. I don't think you should ever run flamers because it doesn't have ignores cover.
Yes, it does.
No, I thought it doesn't. Hold on, let me check.
I'm staring at it right now. It does.
Oh, it does. Okay. It's not bad. I just don't love it. Anyways, alright, so Neophyte hybrids, where are we putting them?
And then we actually have to talk about the heavy weapons because they're kind of interesting.
Okay.
The heavy stubber, there's no point in running it. It's 3 shots, goes up to 6 within half range. It's got a 36-inch range. Hits on 4s, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. So it's just a heavy stubber.
Its damage
But there's
1
no-
is really rough.
Damage 1.
It's like
There's no reason to run a heavy stubber ever.
other armies that have a similar weapon, like your sort of autocannon type weapon, usually give it like damage 2.
Well,
And
we
I
have an
usually
autocannon.
love those weapons, but that's just not great.
We have an autocannon. It's just not here.
It's not here. But usually that weapon slot in 10th edition, now that Wargear is free, has been that sort of damage 2, damage 3 weapon. So it's really rough. Most people have been running
stubborn.
seismic cannons. Can you explain seismic cannons to me?
I love my seismic cannons because you're always, when you're picking your heavy weapons, you're always going to be between seismics and mining lasers. And mining lasers are las cannons. They hit on 5s. Heavy brings them to 4s.
I personally like mining lasers.
And besides that, they're just straight las cannons, which is really nice. But I don't find them reliable enough.
The fact that they're heavy means that once you, because you're trying to plop neophytes on an objective anyways, to get that banner extra durability. So I'm thinking
Yes.
like it's heavy already. So the hitting on 5s is not an issue. You're going to be hitting on 4s. And strength
That's still a
12.
50% chance.
I know, but strength 12 means that you're actually going to like be wounding Lehman Russes. AP 3 means they're actually going to be failing saves. Like, and this is like a 90-point unit. If I was choosing between these two weapon options on like Space Marine intercessors that regular guns do damage anyways and that are expensive, I would choose the seismic cannons. But because they're this unit that isn't even like, it's pointed as if it doesn't do damage, the fact that you can do that damage to tanks and potentially kill a tank with a squad of neophytes, I think is really, really good.
You don't need to kill. We'll get into this later, but the neophytes aren't there to do killing most of the time.
Yeah, that is true.
So, I really like the seismic cannons because strength 4, you're wounding, or sorry, 4 attacks.
Yeah.
You're getting 4 attacks. You're running 4 of them, so you're getting like, what's that? 16 attacks. Same ballistic skill as the. Same ballistic skill.
With the
5-0.
heavy, you're going to be wounding on 4s, so you're now down to 8 attacks on average.
Strength 6.
So what do you assume that they're teching into? Intercessors?
Let's just say we're firing into intercessors.
So they're going to be
Baseline
wounding
unit.
on 3s.
Yes, AP 1, so your intercessors are saving on 4-ups, and then D3 damage apiece, but they're also rapid fire 2.
So that's like 5 attacks going, like 5.5 attacks going through. We'll round it up to 6 to be generous. AP -1. There, that's 3 going through, 2 damage each. That kills 3 intercessors.
D3 damage each.
Yeah. D3 damage. I know, so that's average 2. So it's going to kill 3 intercessors out of a squad of 20 when you could kill a Russ. I'm not saying they're bad.
Really
I personally disagree. But where do you want to put neophytes? I'm thinking
top tier. You have to have.
You do
neophytes
have
on your
to.
list.
Like,
It's
there are,
non-negotiable.
by the laws of they're not very flashy, but by the laws of our own tier list, they are. There's.
You
like.
can get away with not running them, but I don't think I've seen a competitive list that doesn't have at least.
I don't think I've literally
neophytes.
I've seen a guard list that runs what's a good example of a list I've seen that runs
Tank
something
spam.
bad. Tank spam is really good right now. I've seen I saw a competitive list the other day that did really well at a tournament that ran what's the name? That ran it was right before the new codex, but it ran a hunter, which is a very bad unit. Like you always see like, oh, a list ran this random unit that isn't usually good, but they found a use for it. I've literally never in my entire 10th edition experience so far seen a single list that does not have them in it. So that makes them high find.
They always have a purpose. They always have a place. Because they can deep strike, they can also be a 20-man shock group blob, which is really powerful in the right situation, but I would not recommend it.
So our next unit, I think, is another one we disagree on that I really think they're good, and that's Pure Strain Gene Stealers. So, Ben, what do you want to tell us about Pure Strains?
I do like them a bit more. I think they might have gotten a buff.
They didn't get a buff. This was. They haven't buffed. They haven't buffed. Yeah. How many points are Pure Strains?
Huh?
How many points are Pure Strains?
85 for 5. 10 is 170.
Okay, so I guess we'll trade off explaining and then giving our counter argument. But so
yep.
Pure Strains. I think you should probably run squads of 5, and I'll explain why in a minute. You said 85 points. T4 at 8-inch movement, which is not bad at all. 5-up save,
Advanced
which
charge too.
Yeah. Well, I'll get there. 5-up save, but as a 5-up invuln as well, and 2 wounds each. So that's the defensive profile, which for 85 points is not bad at all. The 5-up invuln already means that it's basically equivalent to intercessors, depending on your opinion. That could be better or worse if you'd rather have a better regular save or invuln, but or have an invuln. Leadership 7 up, but that doesn't really matter. An OC1.
OC1, yes.
Yeah, so their abilities, and I'll go to their weapons. They deep strike. They're infiltrators. They're eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced.
Also, note that they can revive via Cult Ambush.
Yes. They can revive. They revive, what'd you say?
They will be reviving on 4-ups in the first 2 rounds and 5-ups in every other round.
Oh, okay. So they don't revive as good, but they're 85 points.
They do revive.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I know. They're not infantry reviving. I mean.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking. They are. I think they're slightly worse than they would be in any other army because they're in GSC. And GSC, because of the inherent fact that all of your units deep strike, all these things, you're inherently play the mission so well that specifically mission play units aren't as good. But literally any other army would kill for this unit. It's melee weapons.
It's a good unit.
It's melee weapons.
I'm more interested in its melee weapon than anything else.
Cult, Claws, and Talons, 4 attacks. So in a squad of 5, that's going to be 20 attacks. Hitting on 2s, strength 4, so wounding Space Marines on 4s. AP minus 2, damage 1. So I care less than you about necessarily the damage. I think that if you want to do melee infiltrating damage, you're going to have aberrance with the what's it called, the enhancement.
We'll get to aberrance later.
Yeah, they're a problem. But so I'm thinking you can infiltrate them onto an objective before the game even starts.
Yes.
Then your units will catch up, and you'll get those neophyte units that you want holding those objectives. And now, because they'll have a chance to move around a little bit, you have a unit that is small, so easy to get behind cover or even line of sight blocking. And then what you can do is, any time in the game that you need a unit to tie something up in combat, they're there. And the fact that you can deep strike them means that if you like, you can. I'd argue to, like, if you're gonna bring them, bring like 2 squads, and you put 1 on an objective, and you keep 1 in deep strike, and then the deep strike one can drop down to tie up or be anywhere that you want them to be, because their movement makes them so versatile.
I'd also like to point out that they are eligible for this one stratagem that I'm probably going to bring up a lot. I believe it's called Blend with the Shadows. And it lets you give any infantry unit in the game, and any infantry unit in your army, excluding the Militarum stuff, lone op and stealth for a turn.
Exactly. Yeah. So the first turn you can also give them lone op and stealth, or whatever turn you want. But you can basically make a unit that if you want to put on an objective that for secondaries or for setting up primaries later or whatever is important to hold first turn. You put him down. You tell your opponent this infiltrates. It's also stealth and lone op. And if you are to get into melee with them, they will hit you back hard. And they have a decent defensive profile, so you're going to have to actually send something that you need, that needs to kill important things to go kill it. Even if they kill it, now it's your turn, if you went second. And if you went first, you can probably catch up with something else. And if you went a second, now you can respond and get a unit onto that objective. They've already wasted their attacks on that and not something else for only 85 points. I just think it's a really good unit. I think it's patriarch level. I think people really, really underrate this unit.
I'm gonna put them slightly below patriarch level.
You think
because
cult
they're
reliables?
the same amount of points? Huh?
Same amount of
What's
points
under
as what?
patriarch?
Cult reliables.
They're the same amount of points as acolyte hybrids, who do the same thing and are OC2.
Acolyte hybrids infiltrate?
They can.
Do they move 8 inches? Oh no. Okay, but you're not
inches.
You're not going to put the infiltrate on them. We've already discussed this. Well, we will discuss this.
But they also have that huge merit of okay shooting.
Yeah, but they have the movement and infiltrate versatility. I think they're equal to acolytes.
Situational pick.
Which I mean, like, but if you're situational between the two, not situational in general. Like,
Yes.
I think they're patriarch level, and they'd be bottom of patriarch level.
All right. Yeah, let's put them bottom patriarch. That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Next up, we got acolyte hybrids. Let's just go to acolyte hybrids.
Okay,
Tell me,
I'm gonna put them in top. Just off the top of my head, but we'll go.
Let me get acolyte hybrids up. So how many points are acolyte hybrids?
85 for 10, and I believe 170 for 85 for 5, 170 for 10.
Okay. So they're OC2, but that isn't necessarily a credit to them because you're paying, if you look at the models per OC, you're still paying the same points per OC as you are with neophytes. So I don't think that's really a
but
plus.
They serve a different role than neophytes.
They do serve a
neophytes
different
are your line holders. These are your shock troops. These are your Cadian shock troops to your neophyte infantry squads.
And they're cheap.
They are cheap. And the thing they're really good for is loading up with demo charges, dying, and coming back with more demo charges.
So you want to explain how they work, their abilities and weapons, and relevant weapons.
Yes. So they've got a mix between a Space Marine and the Guardsman stat line: 6 inches, T4, 5 up save, 1 wound, OC2, 7 up leadership, whatever. Your weapon choices at range are auto pistol. There is no reason to ever run an auto pistol.
Same with the heavy stubber.
Because
I said same as the heavy stubber.
It's even worse than the heavy stubber because you could run an auto pistol, or you could run a hand flamer.
Hand flamer is the weapon that defines this unit, at least in 10th.
So the hand flamer. So both weapons have strength 3, AP 0, damage 1, but the auto pistol gets 1 shot and the pistol keyword. The hand flamer gets D6 shots, torrent, pistol, and ignores cover. There is no reason to ever run the auto pistol under any circumstances.
Why? It's the same stat line. They just gave one of them 1,000,000 extra buffs. It's not like the auto pistol even gets a point of AP or something. It's just nothing.
There's no purpose.
Okay.
So you're always gonna want to be running hand flamers on every acolyte that is gonna be taking gun, but not all of your acolytes are gonna be taking guns, because unlike the neophytes, with the acolytes, they still have that banner. It's slightly worse on them. They get D3 guys back, 3 if they're on the objective. So it's marginally worse than the neophytes, but because it's a smaller squad, it doesn't really matter.
Let's see. It says D3, and then it's 3 if you're within range.
Yeah.
Because it's a smaller squad. It's actually, that might be mathematically better. Like points per model. I think that's actually better.
Doesn't really matter though, because you don't want both.
No, but I think I'm saying, like, I don't think it having a worse revive is a knock against it. I think it's actually a knock for it, because I'm pretty sure I might be doing bad. Yeah, no, my math is right. Especially off of objective, you're getting like points worth of models back much more than neophytes, actually. If you do the math.
And then the big important range weapon is going to be your demo charges.
Yeah, so demo charges is the thing that's big and scary.
Demo charges are so fun.
Wait, I'm looking at this now. That's really good. How many can they take?
2 per 5 guys.
That's so good. Okay, tell them the stat line.
So the demo charges are really fun because what you get to do is 6 inches, D6 plus 3, 5 up to hit, strength 12, AP 2, damage 2. So they hit like las cannons.
So if we're just gonna do some
blast and hazardous. So here's the thing that's funny is they're one shot. So oh no, my guys died, but I have to take a hazardous test. I die on my hazardous test after I throw the grenades. And then the next turn, I bring him back with the banner and get the demo charges back according to GW's ruling on reviving guys with one-shot weapons.
If you look at the damage this squad does, it's actually nuts. If you put it into, say, like...
You can put this into tanks and it kills them.
You put it into tanks and it kills them, but like, let me just do I swear to everyone, we won't spend this much time on every unit, but like these are the big important core units. Let's just really quickly average it into intercessors, terminators, and tanks. Intercessors, Well, first, just shots in general. If you're putting 4 of them into a squad of 10 intercessors, that
Make
is
sure
going to
you're
be...
accounting for the blast.
I know. So that's six average shots each, plus 2 average shots each. So that's 8 times 4 is 32 shots.
Plus 3. It's d6 plus 3.
I know. So
Okay.
so each unit hits an average of 6 times plus blast 2.
Oh, before you account for that, reroll hit rolls of 1.
That is its ability. Yeah.
Yep. And wound rolls of 1 if you're on the objective.
So it does hit on 5s, but you're re-rolling 1s, so that's because you're getting an extra dice that is
like
probably
force.
hitting. So that's like a plus 0.2 to your roll. So you're getting
Then
hold on,
and then we can
32.
add
Hold on,
the
32. 32 goes down to less. 32 goes down to, I want to say, like, it's like 6. So 6, and then the 0.2, like, that's like 8. No, that's 8. So you're gonna get 8 shots. No, 7 shots. So that's 7 shots, hitting, wounding on 2s, re-rolling. So that's like, I think still 7 shots. Average, you're gonna wound all of them. AP minus 2, they're gonna save, and then you kill 5 intercessors. But I don't think that's even their best target.
Well, here's the other thing: is if you're taking them out of any form of reserve, so deep strike, ambush, whatever, you're also getting sustained hits because the GSC are called detachment roll.
That's true. Oh wait,
And ignores cover.
that's dumb. Okay, no, I think this unit. Okay, yeah, that's a hive mind unit right there. You think above or below
Yeah,
neophytes?
I'm not even gonna bother to touch on the melee weapons. The melee weapons are pretty good, but I don't even think we need to bother. It's just the demo charges that pull this unit through.
Generally, for anyone at home, rock grinders are the weapon to choose, right, Ben? For the melee?
Demo charges.
No, for the melee.
So
if you're
no
going to
longer
choose melee.
get an option in the melee. They
Oh,
took
it's
that
just
ability
heavy
away.
mining tool. Okay.
So you can, instead of running demo charges, run a really nice melee weapon, but don't do that because demo charges are really, really good.
Okay. Do you think we're going above or below neophytes?
Below neophytes, just because neophytes do everything.
Okay. Now we're going to go to a unit I know almost nothing about. It's the... Let's see. Hybrid metamorphs. What are the hybrid metamorphs? How many points are they?
So they are slightly cheaper than their acolyte brothers. They're 80 points for 5 and 160 for 10.
Okay.
So in essence, they're just these are killier. These are going to be what they were designed to be, at least, is acolytes that are better at killing and less good at holding.
Yeah, so
But
they have
it
basically the
doesn't really
same.
work out that way.
They have the same stat line, but they're OC1 instead of 2. So
Yes.
now they're holding OC per model worse than neophytes.
Yes. So the idea that I think GW had when they were making these is they kill better. But the big knock against them is that they don't have access to demo charges.
Wait. Okay, so you're gonna take, and they don't have access to the good melee weapon either. In fact, this weapon looks worse to me.
The melee weapon is okay.
It's not.
But it's
I don't.
not
Wait, hold on. Is it as good as? Is the acolyte weapon better? The acolyte weapon. Yeah, the acolyte weapon is damage 3, which means you have the versatility to be able to kill terminators. I like the
It's
acolyte.
not.
Yes, it is. Heavy mining tool is damage 3 on acolytes, which means that hybrid metamorphs, their melee weapon, is metamorph mutations. If you're gonna do strike, it does have versatility though. Strike is 3 attacks each, hitting on 3s, strength 5, EP minus 1 damage shoot. Actually, hitting on 3s. What's their ability? Oh, they also scout 6. They scout 6.
They also fight on death on a 3-up.
They fight on death on 3-up. They scout 6. I
I do not like them.
I'm thinking Cult Outcast, like top of Cult Outcast, because they do have the Scout 6. Their weapons have
Yeah,
versatility.
but
Top of Cult Outcasts. There are reasons to take
For
this
5
unit.
more
Not
points,
good
though?
reasons, but there are reasons.
For 5 more points, you could, for 5 more points, you could take Pure Strings, objectively better at melee.
Okay,
And
that's true.
infiltrating.
Yeah, there are very little reasons to take these.
Or
Do you think they're
for
really
5
high
more
scum?
points-
Do you think they're high scum?
Yeah, I haven't. The only times
Yeah.
I've ever seen people run these is the start of the edition when Gene Stealer cults were obscenely overpowered and people felt bad.
Okay.
That's the last time I've seen someone run a hybrid metamorph.
Yeah, the
They
only
look
unit I
cool,
think
though.
might be worse than them is the Patriarch, but we'll get to that later.
The Patriarch is
Not good. It's
situational.
not good.
But we'll
Okay,
handle
we'll get there.
him.
Next is... Oh boy. This is the last infantry unit. Ben, I think you can guess what it is. It's the Aberrants. Where are we putting the Aberrants? So this unit
I'm
is
gonna
the
put
unit that scares
bottom-
competitive players.
I'm gonna put this unit, controversially, bottom of Hive Mind tier. Hive Mind's the
Bottom.
highest, right?
Okay. Why is that controversial?
Because they are so scary, so theoretically they could be better than Acolytes or Neophytes, but you don't need them. I just punched a hole in my drywall. You don't need them. You do need them, but you can make a list without them.
I think what they also do is, I think people sometimes, like, one thing that I think that, well, actually, let's get to their stats first, but, like, one thing that, I forget, I think that's something that most people don't consider with the Aberrants is the fact that in this edition, especially in competitive play, because of that minute of Gene Stealer cult supremacy, the name Aberrant is so infamous that no matter what you want to do with them, your opponent is going to focus their entire army on them, and having a distraction piece like that, forcing your opponent to make decisions like that, is like key to competitive play. I think that they have a
And the best part
versatility
is-
not in the data sheet.
The best part is, when they do focus everything on them, there's a good chance the Aberrants also
Sometimes
don't
sometimes
die.
they don't die. Okay, so let's just explain I'll explain the data sheet real quick. Movement 6 inches, T6, 5 up save, 3 wounds, so 3 wounds. Leadership 7 up, OC 1, which does not sound that impressive. However, they've got a 4 up Feel No Pain. While character is leading this unit, each time attack targets this unit, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of this unit, which is 6 by the way, which is very good. That's better than Terminators. Subtract 1 from the wound roll. So most weapons that are gonna want to try to wound Aberrants are not gonna have a very good time wounding Aberrants.
It
means that to wound an Aberrant on
most of
threes-
the time you're wounding them on a 4.
Yeah, to wound an Aberrant on 3s, you need to have a weapon that is strength 12 or higher. Those are anti-tank weapons. They don't have very many. What? Yeah, and the thing
You
is,
need
those
to
are
put in blast
anti-tank
bombs.
weapons. They don't have very many shots. And this is a squad that people a lot of the time run as units of 10. And
always
they have
on
the Feel No
bombs.
Pain. And
The Feel No Pain is the
Cult
cannon
Ambush
for
means
this
the unit might just be brought back.
which is always fun.
How many points, Ben? They are very expensive.
Oh, it's a lot. They made it like almost 4. So 370 for 10. I'm not even gonna bother for 5 because there's no reason
There's
to run 5.
nobody runs 5 because the thing is,
You always
explain the
run
stratagem real quick. So, and that enhancement, I mean, there's an enhancement that could be
So
could be
there's an
very.
enhancement.
There's an enhancement. This enhancement, before Ben explains it, it should preface with, we're not saying it's not good on other units. It could be very good on a large number of units, but if you're running Aberrants in your
goes on
list,
the
there is no
Aberrants.
reason to not take this on Aberrants. So every competitive list runs this on Aberrants. Do you want to explain?
So, Inscrutable Cunning, 30 points. Every time you use a stratagem on this unit, on a 4-up, you gain a CP back, which is nice. I always forget about it. The big thing is if you put it on a character, and you attach that character to a squad, the squad gets to infiltrate, which means you get to infiltrate the Aberrants and turn 1 charge things with the Aberrants.
It's so good. It's
So fun. I love it.
So, okay. So here's the thing about the it's okay. So I didn't even know that ability also came with the CP. That's so
I always
funny.
forget it.
Yeah.
I
So
always forget it.
you're not going to kill this unit, right? Let's get back to what the unit actually does. It doesn't die, and then you get to its melee. So it's war gear
I
options.
love it.
It's war gear options. So let's see. Unit composition.
Ignore the improvised weapon. Never run the improvised
Okay, so
weapon.
it's all heavy power weapons.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you also get, so first, let's just start small. They all get an extra attack weapon called a hypermorph tail. They're little.
Only one of them gets it.
Really, only one?
Yep.
Okay, so you get one attack that does nothing.
Don't ignore it. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So then we got the power weapon. So on a squad of 10, you got 30 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 8. I repeat, strength 8, AP minus 2, damage 3. Hold on, Ben. Is there any cult characters that could give it +1 to wound?
So here's the thing. You are always going to be running this with a character. A, so that you can get your -1 to wounds, and B, so that you can infiltrate it.
I know what
Two characters. So you can run we'll get to them individually. You can run a Biophagus or an Abominant. Abominant hands out sustained, and Biophagus hands out lethal.
I prefer sustained.
I like the Aberrant better. It's the Abominant better. It's a choice. We can get to it later.
Well, actually, there could be a reasonable. We'll get to it later. I think there's a reasonable argument for both.
There's reasons to go either way, but we'll get to it later. So you're always going to be having one of those two buffs. Because you're always going to have a character in the squad.
Is there any way to give it +1 to wound?
No, because that stratagem only applies to ranged weapons, but the thing is, you don't need it, because you get 30 attacks. Sure, I'm wounding your knight on a 5-up, but I get 30 attacks. They're all EP2.
No, you're winning a knight on a 6-up.
No, it's 5-up.
No, wait, no way.
Knights are not toughness 16. They are toughness 13
knight.
For the big.
Let's look at a.
Just like what's it called? The Knight Paladin, the normal one. It's T13.
Knight Paladin. T12, actually. Wait, T12? Why?
One of them is T13. I think it's the big gun one.
Okay, that's dumb. They should. Why do they have the same as a Rust? Okay, that's one more than a Rust. That's so dumb. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I think there's. We'll get back to this later, but I think there's an argument for the lethals because the strength 8 means that the lethals means you're better to wound.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But
yeah. So yeah. It's the classic more attacks or stronger attacks debate. But anyways, Aberrants, bottom hive mind. I think they're
bottom hive mind or whatever the highest one is.
Yeah, hive mind.
The Aberrants are a must take. You always run 10. I've seen people say 20 or 30. I don't like that because they're so expensive, and you only really need 10.
I think yeah, that's fair.
I see the argument, but outside of specific builds, 10 Aberrants does a lot. I had a game against Knights. Silas watched it. I think the Aberrants pulled down like 5 Knights on their own. I had a game against Deathwatch today. It ended bottom of turn 2 because he ran out of units after the Aberrants got into his backline turn 1 and killed all his infantry. And he didn't have enough units to play the game anymore, so he called it. The 10 Aberrants goes a very long way.
Yeah, they do go a really long way. So both of us don't have that much time left to record.
Them eventually.
You don't have very much time to record.
So you might have to call this session and pick it up.
Do you want to just try to speed through everything else? Could you go half an hour more? I could go half an hour more if you could.
I might be able to, but there's a lot of interesting things in here.
Let's just pick up the pace because we've gone through the really key units. We can pick up the pace now. I think.
Yeah.
Try to get through units quickly.
Go through the non-essential ones. Why don't we go to because we were just talking about them. Let's go to the Biophagus. This is the little lab coat guy. He attaches to the Aberrants.
You want to do HQs
He's
first?
One of the 2 that can attach to the Aberrants. Huh?
You don't want to do vehicles first?
Let's just get these 2 out of the way because we just talked about them.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Biophagus.
So the Biophagus is the one who hands out lethal hits to the Aberrants.
Okay.
Another thing to note about him is that he can be attached to other units, so you could give like lethal hits to Acolytes. and he can be attached alongside a Primus or Magus, which is nice. So he's the lethal hits. He has an ability.
Is there? He can attach. But what do Primuses and Megases attach to? Let's just rank all these units at the same time. Here's the Megas.
Yeah,
here's
Primuses
the
and Megases are. Magus is actually kind of an interesting one because it's matchup dependent. So. If you're playing like Knights or Custodies, the Magus is actually really nice. It's not great, but it's pretty good. And if you're playing something that has a lot of different units, it's not that good. Like if you're playing Guard, it's not great. Against Knights, it's amazing.
What does it do?
So all of its other, it gives its unit a feel no pain against Psychic, whatever. But
what units can it attach to?
So, all the infantry except Aberrants.
And Steelers.
And Steelers.
So 3 units.
No. At the start of the enemy shooting phase, pick one enemy unit within 9 inches of you. On a 1, you roll a d6. On a 1, you take some mortal wounds, perils. On a 2 to 5, that unit has -1 to hit on all its weapons for the rest of the turn. And on a 6, it just cannot shoot. So if you're fighting Guard, you get the Sonic Guardsman squad, whatever. But if you're playing Knights and you can like take a fourth of their list and say 9 inches.
Oh, okay. I think it's...
Which is why you put it in a truck. But anyway, it's matchup dependent, so mid-tier.
I say bottom of Patriarch.
I would not put it in Patriarch, top of whatever's below Patriarch.
You can shut off a unit entirely. And it's not just it. That's you can't shoot at anything.
Yeah, no, it turns off the shooting.
In some armies, that cripples them. Actually,
yeah.
Here, if you're not gonna run the stratagem on Aberrants, hear me out. You put these guys in a ruin in the center of the board with infiltrate on a squad, and then you and then you use the stratagem to make them stealthy. Their army has to move that closer, and then you can pick the most key unit to their success in the second turn, the turn where most battles end up pivoting one way or the other, and you can just shut off their most important unit.
That's on a 6. Otherwise, it's a -1 to hit. Remember that.
Oh, that is true. Okay, I think that they're cult reliable because it's on a 6. And
yeah, top of cult reliable because that's only on a 6.
Biophagus, I'd say top of Patriarch.
I'd say put the Biophagus right under Aberrants because you have to
Aberrants we put at the bottom of Hive Mind.
But if they don't have Aberrants, they're useless.
So below Aberrants, which you put at the bottom of Hive Mind, it'd be the top of Patriarch. It's the top of Patriarch.
Yeah, so put them in Hive Mind tier below Aberrants.
Okay. I don't know if I agree,
because you need them to run Aberrants, but if you don't have Aberrants, they're useless.
That doesn't make them themselves Hive Mind.
And then I say put the Abominant in the...
What? Okay, doesn't the Abominant also have good melee himself? What does he do?
They are what makes Aberrant.
So, well...
The Abominant is a souped-up Aberrant for more points who gives out sustained hits to the Aberrants.
How many points? How many points for all these different leaders, by the way?
Yeah, so Magus is 50 points, which is really nice.
That is kind of a lot for a GSC character.
The Biophagus... They're all like 50. The Biophagus is 60. And
okay.
The Abominant is 75.
Damn.
So, again, Biophagus Abominant is really down to user preference.
Biophagus, can you read out its heavy weapon, its melee weapon real quick before we move on?
The Abominant or the Biophagus?
Abominant. Does Biophagus melee weapon matter?
Strength? Not. It'll definitely kill like one space marine. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. So what about the Abominant?
But the Abominant strength. It's a las cannon. It's just a las cannon.
Okay. It's like in melee.
3 attacks. It's on
3 las cannons.
Strength 12, AP 2, D6 plus 1 damage. So it's.
Does it give sustain to itself?
AP 2. Yes, because it is counted as part of its own unit. It's giving itself sustained.
That is quite good. Okay, that's going... I like that
I
better.
like to run the Abominant.
That's below. That's going to be the hive mind. That's below Aberrants.
I like it better personally. There are definitely arguments for running by Vegas.
Yes,
But I personally
no. If you're choosing
like
between
the Abominant better.
if you're choosing which you want to run with Aberrants, I think that's a genuine discussion between them. But if you're choosing between them as units, they both are equal in
between them as
leading
units.
that unit, and then he also has the insane melee weapon for not that much more cost.
One funny thing about the Abominant I forgot to mention, on a first time they kill him on a 2-up, he gets back up.
Oh my. Okay, so he's just I like him. He's auto pick for me.
On a 2-up, he just.
Oh wait, no,
it's not
no,
even
because
ambush,
hive
he
mind.
stands back up.
Hive mind implies auto pick, and he's not auto pick because you're competing with the other guy. But I'll put him above the other guy.
He is. Well, and he basically is, though.
No, a lot of people lose the
basically
biopic.
are. It's a user preference.
A lot, yeah, and so therefore he
preference
can't be an
thing.
auto pick.
I guess, yeah. Just put him at the top of the picture.
Yeah. Okay, really quickly, Acolyte Icon Ward. What does he do? Who does he lead? How many points?
Acolyte Icon Ward.
Oh wait, no, hold on, we forgot. Real quick,
Acolyte,
sorry, Primus. I forgot about the Primus. What is the Primus?
Primus, I want to put him in either high Patriarch or low Hive Mind.
What is really quickly? What does he do? How many points?
So he's 90 points. They made him.
That is a lot of points.
He can attack Neophytes, Acolytes. Acolytes are my recommendation, or Metamorphs. We're ignoring Metamorphs. He lets you pre-game redeploy 3 units, and he also lets you hit. He gives you full hit rerolls in range, and in melee. Actually, now that I'm looking at it.
Can he attach to?
So he's giving
Aberrants?
No, which would be really fun, but no.
You could attach him and the biopages.
Acolytes. You attach him and crank out Acolyte. You crank out Acolyte demo charges at full reroll. I like him. I run him in almost every list I play. I would put him in Patriarch tier. He is good. He is not necessary.
Here's why I don't like him.
His cost.
Yeah, so here's my thing. You could buy him to make a squad of Acolytes better, or you could buy another squad of Acolytes.
Yeah, I do like him.
And have 5 points left over to start saving up for an enhancement.
And then in Gene Stealer Cults,
I think he's bottom of Patriarch.
Is kind of squishy.
I think no matter what we put in Patriarch, he's bottom.
Yeah. He is also nice because those 3 redeploys are really powerful in an army that wants to position well in the deployment phase.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You don't want your Neophytes in front of that Punisher tank.
All the same, I would probably rather have a squad of Gene Stealers than him.
Yeah, he is good. I do like him, but I would not put him too high.
Okay, real quick, Acolyte Acomord.
Acolyte Acomord is a debatable unit to run.
How many points?
So he has an Acolyte data sheet. He has an Acolyte stat line, except with 3 wounds for 50 points, which isn't bad.
50 points is
melee
a lot. I know you said that's what they all cost, but yeah.
Yes. We're not even going to talk about his damage. It's negligible.
Isn't just an auto pistol?
It's an auto pistol and some Acolyte stabbing.
5
up Feel No Pain to whoever he's leading, which to recap is Neophytes, Acolytes, and Metamorphs.
Okay.
Which is nice. It's nice. And once per battle, when an opponent pops one of your cult ambush markers, you can instead place it within 12 inches of him. So basically,
that's really good.
Ambush markers,
no, for 50 points, it's insane. No, I think that's really good.
I don't like it as much as you do.
Why?
Because of 2 key reasons. Number 1 is you don't have to declare what's in your ambush markers. So if they pop an ambush marker that you were gonna put your aberrants in, guess what? Now they're in the other one. That was my Neophytes. And B, it's a once per game ability, so you can only do it once, which is gonna get kind of annoying. And C, it's really not that hard unless you're sitting him in your own back line. Like attached to a squad of neophytes, which to be fair is not a bad idea. There's a good chance the enemy can still pop that ambush marker even after you move it to him.
Can he lead with someone else?
No, he is one of the 3 that cannot do that.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. For the squad of neophytes that every cult player is gonna leave on their backline, I think he's kind of the perfect character to lead that squad.
He's nice, but 50 points is also stuff you can do other stuff with.
I think he's better than the Magus.
Oh, definitely.
I think he's top of cult reliables.
Yeah, I'd put him there. That seems good.
Okay, who's the guy with the speakers? What's his name?
I haven't looked at him. If you subtract Battle Shock, 1 from the Battle Shock of any enemy units within 12 of him, and if you fail a Battle Shock test within 12 of him, you suffer a mortal wound.
That's really bad.
And he has that thing where you can't set up Deep Strikers within 3 inches of him. He can lead Acolytes, Metamorphs, or Neophytes. He's kind of mediocre, and he's also 50 points, so you could just get him.
Those are all of his abilities, and he's 50 points.
Yeah, he's mediocre. He's always been mediocre. He's never been good.
That's called Outcast. I don't think that's quite Hive Scum, but that's called Outcasts.
Bottom of, second to last.
Yeah,
and
second to last year.
We don't need to talk about his damage output.
Alright, what about Locust?
Locust, I do like Locust in some situations. So, T4, 5 up save, 3 wounds, 6 inches, OC1, 4 up invul. We're going to move to his abilities. He fights first, and he's a leader. He can attach to any unit the Primus, Magus, and Icon Ward can attach to, in addition to them. And when he's in a unit with another character, that character gains a 4-up Feel No Pain. And whatever units he's in also gets to fight first.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you could attach him alongside like a Biophagus or Abominant,
or put him on a unit of Gene Stealers?
Any of those things. Fights first is crazy.
Yeah. So.
Although fights first, there's nothing. Okay, here's the thing though. There's nothing that wants fights first. Nothing he can join wants fights first.
On Acolyte hybrids.
They don't want fights first.
They can fight. Even if you run demo charges instead of melee weapons, they can still fight.
Yeah, but that's not what you're paying for, and that's what we were paying him for.
Yeah.
Their melee tax is not.
Yeah, he is 45 points. So I put him between wherever we put between the Magus and the Clamovis.
In between
the Magus and the Icon Ward.
Yeah, that's that.
So
I agree with that.
Better than the Magus, not as good as the Icon Ward.
Yeah. Who's the guy with the map?
The Nexos. He used to be overpowered. He's okay now. They made him pricey. He's 60 points, so he's more than your usual character. He attaches to the big trio of infantry, the same ones we've been talking about.
Okay.
Neophytes, Acolytes, and Metamorphs.
What's he do?
In addition to he does that in addition to the other big 3 characters. He gives them a free stratagem to the unit he's attached to every turn, but they nerfed that, so it's only battle tactics now. Which could be nice for like a.
Do GSC have good battle tactics?
Lasers. There's one that's okay.
And what does it
really
do?
Like CP reroll.
CP reroll?
It's 2 CP. Yeah, you get CP reroll. That's a big one that you want to know. But start of each player's command phase, as long as this guy's alive, you can move any one cult ambush marker 6 inches any direction.
That's utility, I think, is just automatically worth it. How many points?
60. Here's the thing. 6 inches is not a lot, because remember, it's a 9-inch radius that you can pop that marker.
Yeah, but that's usually the difference. I think he's better than the Locust.
I've never seen a situation in which an enemy unit is just barely able to edge into a cult ambush marker's pop radius.
I did the other day. Remember in our game?
No.
At the doubles tournament. He got his squad in.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
literally by
Yeah,
millimeters.
the Gene Stealers. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I guess we can put him a little higher than Locust, but I wouldn't. I think he's kind of situational.
Well, that's what the cult reliable units are.
Yeah.
Keller Morph. Keller Morph.
Keller Morph is definitely going to be a cult reliable. Basic gas.
I thought he wasn't that good.
He's not good. I mean, there's like one play there's one tech you can do where you can just use him as a bomb to kill one character and then die, but I don't really like that.
So explain his guns and abilities, and does he attach to anyone?
His abilities. No, he's lone off.
He's okay. That's already good. Does he infiltrate?
What he wants to do is deep strike because he gets to deep strike within 3 inches.
Ooh.
I can do that. All Gene Stealer cults infantry can do that with the CP, but he gets to do it for free.
Okay.
And every time you shoot at one of my battle line units within 3 inches of him, he gets to shoot back. Which actually isn't that good because if he can shoot at you, you can probably
How many
also
points
shoot at him.
How many points is he?
He is 50 still, I think.
No, that's already top of cult. I think he's better than the Icon Ward.
Yeah. So the big thing for him is all the times I've seen him used competitively, people don't like run him around with neophytes. He's a bomb because what you do is you deep strike him within those 3 inches, and then you start shooting his gun. So let's see. I think he has.
I just think like
these.
Having a utility wise in competitive play, having a 50-point unit that is a deep striking within 3 inches infiltrator is just so good.
He does not infiltrate. He doesn't infiltrate.
I didn't mean infiltrate. I meant low knot, because low knot means that, you know, a lot of the time it's going to keep him safe, but I don't think they really care about that as much as the 3-inch deep strike, because it means that, and the fact that he's 50 points, because let's say there's a line of sight blocking thing in your opponent's backline, you can put him in it, so that the opponent can't see him, and you can score secondaries, and because he's within 3 inches, he can get into a spot that he normally wouldn't have been able to. It gives you versatility to be able to get him into a spot where he's safe, even if you don't want to bomb.
Thing is, there's another unit we'll get to, the Reductus, who does that better for roughly the same amount of points, but we'll get to her later.
Anyway, so I think he's better than the Icon Ward.
I gotta talk about the guns, because every time I've seen him used even semi-competitively, he's a bomb.
Okay.
He gets in, kills one thing, and then dies.
What's his guns?
So 6 shots, hit on 2s, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Not that great. Until you look at them, dev wounds, precision, and sustained hits D3. So he's kind of unreliable.
How many shots?
But,
how many shots? How many damage?
Default. 6 default, 1 damage, AP 0, sustained D3, and dev wounds.
That is not good enough. I'm sorry, that's not good
It's
enough.
not that good.
No,
so
that's...
he's either an action monkey, he's outclassed as an action monkey, and he's not that good of a bomb.
Okay,
He's not good
well,
especially.
okay, so I'm going to keep him down here in the holding while you explain to me our next unit, the Reductus Saboteur, and then I'll decide, based on how much better she is, where to put him.
So the Reductus Saboteur does the action monkeying of the Kellermorph, but better. She's
how many points?
Same stat line, but with no. She is 65, so she's 10 points more. But I think that's worth it.
Okay.
Here's what she's gonna do. She doesn't get the feel no pain, but besides that, stat line's the same. She has infiltrators, lone op, and stealth, which actually for some reason the Kellermorph doesn't have stealth. He should.
Stealth. She doesn't have deep strike?
All the infantry have deep strike. I didn't feel like I needed to mention that.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure.
Free grenade strat. And then C4. So once per battle, when you move around within 12 inches of her, she detonates her mine. On a 2-up, you're taking D3 plus 3 mortal wounds, so it's okay. Ranged weapons, auto pistol. She gets a demo charge, but it's not hazardous, which is nice.
I don't care. Like, I remember I played a game against GSC recently where I walked past her with a unit that I really cared about and really couldn't die and was about to go fight a fight that it needed attrition for. and I just
Yeah.
took the damage and kept going because it really didn't matter.
And then she also has an indirect weapon. The other C4 D6 plus 3 up, indirect blast, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1, 24-inch range.
Yeah,
But I think she's just a better action monkey.
he has
Kelly
3-inch.
He has
I think
the
she's better.
3-inch drop. She has that for a CV, and there really isn't a reason you're gonna.
I think she's only slightly better than him. I think she's above the Icon Ward and he's below the Icon Ward.
Yeah. They do kind of the same thing, but he's a better action monkey. He's a better action monkey.
Okay, we've got our second to last character, the sniper guy, Jackal Alphys.
There's two of them. We still have a few characters to get done.
Wait, maybe
Jackal Alphys.
Wait, I think Games Workshop Web Store might have screwed me.
We got the Jackal Alphys and the Sanctus left.
Well, which guy's the motorbike guy?
The
Okay.
biker is the Alphys.
Okay, for everyone watching at home, this extra this what's it called? Extra Psyker dude, what's it called? What is the Psyker Ben?
The Sanctus sniper.
No, what's the
Oh wait, I just remembered the Sanctus might not have a sniper rifle on the GW Web Store because he has another option.
Okay.
But
Hold on.
let's talk about the Alphys.
What's the name of the Psyker one?
The Psyker is the Magus, unless we're talking about the Patriarch.
The extra for everyone at home, the extra Magus I have in the tier list for some reason will be our Sanctus. Anyways, you want to explain the Jackal Alphys?
So the Jackal Alphys is absolutely a no-go if you're not running Italian Jackals, because she attaches to the Italian Jackals. That's her purpose.
What is how good are the Italian
and I
Jackals? Like, are the Italian Jackals
we
good?
can get to them. They're okay. I do kind of like the Jackals, but we can get to them.
We'll get to them later. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna save
so
the
she
Jackal
has
Alphys
a
until we
pistol.
go to them. Let's just wait.
Yeah, okay. We'll wait on the Alphys. We'll move to the Sanctus real quick,
Mm-hmm.
because we can get them done quick. You've got the Kellermorph stat line complete with the Invuln, except, actually, I think he might be the action monkey extraordinaire, because he combines the low-knock stealth infiltrators of the Saboteur with the 50. He's 5 points less than the Kellermorph.
Okay.
He has a sniper rifle, which is okay. But he also has all the same stuff. He can fall back, shoot, and he can shoot, charge, fall back. Beginning of the game, you take one enemy unit, and for the rest of the game, you have ignores cover and dev wounds against them, which is okay, but it gets really good against psychers, because he also gets anti-psycher 2-up on his sniper rifle. So he has one shot, heavy precision, 1 shot, 3-up to hit, strength 5, AP 2, damage 3.
3-ups is not bad.
If you're shooting at a psyker, if you're shooting at a psyker, it's psycher, anti-psycher 2-up, and if that psyker is also your target, you're getting anti-psycher 2-up, ignore cover, dev wounds.
Okay,
So
that's
his
not bad.
shooting isn't terrible, but I would use him as an action monkey.
Okay.
He also has a melee weapon. Anti-infantry 3-up, 6 attacks, strength 3, 2-up, AP 2, damage 1, but his guns aren't the real show here. It's the fact that he can 50-point infiltrate, deep strike, do whatever you need to, and get him in the back line.
He doesn't 3-inch deep strike, does he?
He doesn't, but you can make him 3-inch deep strike. He can also infiltrate, he can get in a truck, he can loan off. He does the action monkeying we've been talking about with the Kellermorph and Saboteur, but better.
Okay,
For cheaper. He's only 50 points. So I would put him just above the Saboteur.
That's... Yeah, actually, I agree with that. Whatever. For the people who are watching, I was trying to
He's just
find an
doing all
image of
their
the
jobs
Sanctus,
better.
but my computer's too slow, so I'm just gonna put our temporary Sanctus up here. It'll confuse people who see this tier list later, but whatever. Let's go to the unfortunate one.
Real quick,
We got the Patriarch.
who is left?
We got the Patriarch. And we'll do the Jackalophus later.
Patriarch.
The Patriarch. I don't like the Patriarch.
Patriarch. I miss my boy.
How many points
No
is he?
one likes the Patriarch. He's bad. 85.
Okay, that's not bad.
85 super. Okay. 85 points. He can only attach to pure strength. He has okay melee.
He's got a 4-up
good.
invuln.
Whatever.
He's got a 4-up invuln.
Got
6
a 4-up
wounds.
invuln. Whatever. He's got 6 wounds in P5. If someone wants to kill him, they can kill him. He hands out dev wounds to the pure strengths.
That's good.
Start of the fight phase, you take a battle shock test if you're within 6 inches of an enemy, and once per battle, he can make that a 12-inch. I don't like him.
His melee weapons are 5 attacks,
Again,
hitting on 2s, strength 6.
85.
Hitting on 2s, AP minus 2, damage 2, devastating wounds, twin linked. To be fair, 85
Yeah,
points.
but that's
Isn't that the
also
same
what
as the isn't that the same as the aberrant?
Yeah. So no, for 80, he's 65 or 75 or something. But for 85 points, you can either get dev wounds on your pure strain gene stealers, or double the amount of gene stealers you have if you're running a 5-man blob.
Oh wait, that's a good point.
Because 10 gene stealers.
I was
is
thinking,
also
I was like,
85
that's actually
points.
not.
And
I was like, that's not a bad buff, but like, I could just
you
get a
can either
whole
have
squad.
him or have 5 more gene stealers if you're running gene stealers.
I think-
And if you're not running gene stealers, he does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So
Top of Hive Scum or bottom of
If you're not
Cult
running Gene
Outcasts? Like,
I
okay.
put him the lowest.
Gene Stealers will do better if they have him, and they will do significantly better. Not a whole nother squad better, but if you're teching them specifically for damage, then maybe he has a use very, very occasionally.
I don't think so, because you don't want to be teching your
Okay, that's true.
gene stealers into
Alright,
tanks.
fine.
That's what the
That's-
aberrants are for.
Yeah, okay. He's top of Hive Scum. I think he's better than the hybrid metamorphs.
No, because the hybrid metamorphs are cheaper than him, and the hybrid metamorphs don't need someone else to be good, and B can do things. They can action monkey if you need them to.
Yeah, okay, fine. Because they've got the scouts. Okay. Let's rattle off.
I wish he was good. I missed him.
Adeline Jackals. What do they do? How many
Alan
points?
Jackals. This is actually kind of complicated. You saved this one for last, gut.
Well, I've got the rest of the vehicles, but
Okay, so 90 points for 4 bikers into an ATV, and 180 points for 8 bikers and 2 ATVs.
you want to run? Do you want to run the 5 or the 10?
Depends on if you have an. I would run them in one 10-man blob because of their ability that states once per round when you're done moving, select one enemy unit you moved within 6 inches, or you're currently within 6 inches of them, and roll an amount of 4-ups equal to the amount of models in the squad. For every 4-up you roll, they take a mortal wound, which is nice.
That's once per battle.
Once per round.
Here, okay. How many points
It's
you said
okay.
for 5?
90.
Okay, here's the thing. Do they have any how good is their damage besides that?
It's okay. They have crack grenades. They have mining lasers. They have okay
How many
melee,
mining
actually, because
lasers?
you can give them all power swords.
Isn't that just one mining laser per 5?
Yeah,
Okay,
on the wolf quad.
here's what I'm gonna say. And how fast do they move?
12 inches plus a 9 with scout move.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put it this way. Intercessors with jump packs have an ability called Hammer of Wrath, where when they charge, they roll a 4-up for each model in it might be in their unit. It's either their unit or enemy unit, but it's basically the same ability, but when they charge, and then they do damage in the charge, and they cost less.
Yeah, but we're not playing Space Marines. We don't have access to those.
Yeah, but
I would run.
That's
into
not
such
okay, but that's not
competitive
good
fights
enough.
if I could.
Okay, that is not good enough damage to justify the cost.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
what
I just
role
like
do
them
they fulfill?
because they run real quick and they do pulse
Gene
ambush
Stealers
back
run
into
real
it.
quick.
These run real quicker, especially because if you have an Alphys on them, he hands out a scoot.
I think they're just below Calamorph.
Yeah, they do kind of do the action monkeying, but in a different way. I really do like them, though.
Explain the Jackal Alphys.
Because the Jackal Alphys, if we just put her immediately one below wherever we put the Jackals, because she makes them better, but if you're not running them, she's useless.
Weapon?
Sniper rifle. I think it's just a Sanctus one, but without all the nice anti-psyker.
Okay, and ability that she gives them, how does she make them better?
After they shoot, they move 6 inches.
That's actually very good. I think she's better than they are.
No, because if you don't have them, you can't have her. And she's entirely dependent on another unit. They are not.
I think they are, because I think they're really. I think they're a tier. I think they're Actually, I think that I hate them without her. Actually, I don't think they're good at all. I think they're cult outcasts without her.
I've used them repeatedly. They do shit.
Yeah, but
they
like
consistently do shit.
Not as much as maybe another unit could have done.
If I want someone in a board corner and I don't have someone in a board corner, they go into a board corner because they have a foot of movement.
Okay,
They go wherever I want them to.
I still think that she's better than they are. Because I think that she makes them good. I think otherwise they're not.
I guess, but think about it this way: the amount of points she is versus the amount of points she needs to be effective.
How many points?
Because you have to add. So she alone is. Where's her data sheet? She alone is 60 points. So
okay, that's good.
In theory, she's 60. She's a 60-point model. In theory,
actually,
she's 60 points.
no, you're right.
But
she is less than them.
Without the jack.
She is right below them. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Because you have to add the amount of points the jackals are to make her useful.
We are past our allotted recording time, so let's just rattle off these last ones really, really quickly.
Okay.
Achilles, Ridge Runner.
Truck, put it in low. Truck, put it in low Patriarch. It's
No.
good. It's
Ben.
your transport.
Okay, truck. Okay, low Patriarch, good at transport. Why? How many does transport? How many points?
12 guys. 12-man firing deck, so every single person inside can shoot. It is 1 for 110 points, which is a lot. But it also gets. Huh?
What's the toughness and wounds?
T9, wounds 10, 12-inch move.
That's
save.
Quite good. Actually, T9. I don't love. Well, actually, that's not that bad.
It's got a demo charge, but it's not one shot, so you get infinite demo charges off of this.
Doesn't it get 2 heavy weapons? Or just one?
It gets the demo charges, a twin autocannon, and a heavy stubber. The twin autocannon's okay. It's an autocannon that's twin linked.
You can't swap that out for a mining laser?
No, that's the Goliath Rock Grinder.
Okay, so now let's go to the Goliath Rock Grinder.
Okay, yeah, and it also gives you wound rerolls the guys who hop out of it. So I say you shove some acolytes in there and you run them up the board.
It gives you wound rerolls from what?
Sure, it gives the guys who hop out of it wound rerolls.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good truck.
That's better. That's above that's above Primus for me.
It's really nice. I have one in every single list, but you don't need them.
Wait, did you say bottom of Patriarch or top of Patriarch?
I said mid Patriarch.
Above or below Gene Stealers? I think above.
Put them above Gene Stealers.
Yeah, I think above.
You can use this in every single list build.
That's true. Okay.
There's no list build that wouldn't benefit from a truck.
Okay. Now, how many more points for the Rock Grinder?
So the Rock Grinder, as opposed to the truck's 110, is 155.
Okay, so that's not hugely more. No. And what are you getting extra?
It can drive around with 6 guys. It can't bring a Patriarch. It can't hold a Patriarch specifically, just like the truck also specifically can't.
Okay, but why would you bring a Patriarch?
If you had a Patriarch and you also had Gene Stealers, you could theoretically put them in the truck, but they already infiltrate, so there's no reason to do that.
Okay.
Silas and I have had debates about which gun you want to bring, but you get one of the three from this list: the seismic cannon, the mining laser, the heavy mining laser, heavy seismic cannon, or the clearance incinerator. The clearance incinerator is 2d6 shots, ignores cover, 12-inch range, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Mining laser is d3 shots, blast, 4 up, strength 12, AP 3, damage d6 plus 1. And the seismic cannon is the seismic cannon from Neophytes, except it's strength 8, AP 2, damage 3.
Okay, here's the thing. Heavy mining laser. It's D3, so that's 2 attacks. Oh, wait, no. The clearance incinerator. Oh, wait, no, I was looking at... Okay, clearance incinerator. No. That's not as good. I'm sorry. That's not good.
Okay, I wanna bring something up. Is that the mining laser is blast and the clearance incinerator isn't, and this is a vehicle that wants to be in melee.
Oh, wait, no, you're absolutely right.
This
you're
is
right.
An aggressive vehicle.
No, you're right. And it also has a demolition charge cache for people at home, which is literally just 1 demolition charge, except it's not 1 hit.
It's infinite demo charges.
Infinite demo charges. Only 1 turn, obviously. And then it's also got the drill dozer blade.
The dozer blade is so fun.
6 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 10, AP minus 2, damage 2, sustain hits 1. That is not bad, but the important part is it's strength 10, which means it's very
also
good for tank shocking. Yeah.
Tank shocking.
No, the point isn't the melee weapon's damage itself. The point is that the melee weapon has strength 10. Yeah, I think it's...
And then grinding clearance, when you end a charge move, you pick a unit that it's in melee with, and 6d6. For each 4-up, they suffer a mortal wound, so it has its own mini tank shock built in.
I think it's just below the regular truck. I think that...
Yeah, it's nice. I do like it.
But if you want a transport, it's like...
It's not a transport.
It's like when you're trying to buy something, and there is the cheap version that's out of stock, and then there's the slightly more expensive version that has a bunch of random shit in it, and the random shit is kind of cool, but you don't have very much money. You just want to buy the cheap version.
It's like if you...
It's like that. It's got the extra bling. Like the extra bling is sometimes useful, but like if you just want to transport, like you don't want that extra stuff. That's not important.
It's like if you were choosing between a minivan and a tank to transport your family. The tank can transport your whole family, but it's a lot more expensive, and it has another purpose. That's not transporting your family.
You can transport your family in both. The minivan is going to cost a lot less, and yes, the tank can do other stuff. But do you really need the tank? Do you really need a family transport vehicle that can fight a war? No.
Yeah. So I say put it directly below the truck.
Achilles Ridge Runner.
Is this the last thing?
And then we're just going to talk about Brood Brothers for like a minute, and then we'll go.
Okay, yeah. Achilles Ridge Runners. I love Achilles Ridge Runners. You remember the mining laser that you were talking about from the truck?
It's the good one, the heavy one.
Yeah, it's the big mining laser. So you get a choice between a mortar or a mining laser and a missile launcher. The missile launcher fires 3 crack missiles. I don't see why you would bring it.
Is it the
there
D3?
There is an argument for running the mortar that I'll get to in a minute, but it's just a guard mortar.
No, there is no argument.
There is, because I'll get to it in a minute.
The holy keyword of indirect is not worth everything that people says it is.
It's not because you want to kill things with it. I'll get to it in a minute.
Oh, wait, actually, I understand why it's good. Okay, yeah, no. How many points is the Achilles?
1 for 85 and 2 for 170.
Why would you run it in squads?
It's because the Gene Circles have this one stratagem that lets you add +1 to wound roll on an enemy unit.
Okay.
So I like running them in squads at 2 because then I can pick 2 units for their ability that I'll get to in a minute. But the heavy mining laser is really nice. D3 shots, 4-ups to hit, strength 12, AP 3, D6 +1 damage.
And it's also
the guard mortar.
Yeah. And there's the guard mortar.
Each one comes equipped with
Sorry.
And then each one comes equipped with a heavy stepper that you're going to use in select scenarios that I'll talk about in a minute.
And then there's its ability.
So Scout's 9 inches, and then the big thing, Crossfire. Each time after this shoot, select one enemy that you hit. You don't have to kill it. You just have to hit it once. And you're getting. Hold on.
Sorry, so while Ben's doing that, basically you just have to hit it, and your entire army gets.
Apologies, you'll have to edit that out.
Yeah, sorry, I started explaining it. So your entire army gets what if you hit something?
So you're getting an extra piece of AP when you hit something with it.
Yes, which can make your fairly innocent squad of neophytes suddenly do a lot of damage.
Yeah, so it's really good. And that's what people like the mortar for, is you sit behind cover, you fire the mortar, you only need one to hit.
Although you should never, ever, 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 ever use the mortar on a squad of 2, because that is so dumb.
That's so wasteful.
It's so wasteful.
I like the mining lasers, personally.
I think it's between the trucks.
Yeah, but the other thing I like about it is its warrior options, is that you can have either a smoke launcher, an ignores cover. So basically, you have one that's a smoke launcher, one that ignores cover to your extra AP ability, and one that makes your guns have a 3-up ballistic skill.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like the 3-up ballistic skill. It's especially good if you're running the mortar build, but it's also really nice on the mining lasers. There's definitely arguments for the ignores cover one, but I just prefer the spotters.
Yeah.
So I would put this between the 2 trucks because
that's where I put it.
It's useful. I love them. They're great.
Now we got Brood Brothers. So this here I just put the regular Brood Brothers squad image here, but for the people who are watching, this is just going to represent Brood Brothers in general.
Brood Brothers infantry.
This is just Brood Brothers in general. We're going to talk about them for a second before we end.
Normally you don't run Brood Brothers. There's only select scenarios where you're gonna run some Brood Brothers.
So explain to me the top 3 units very briefly that you think might offer something. So quickly explain what Brood Brothers are to those who don't know.
Yeah, so basically 25% of your army can be Astra Militarum shit, with a few exceptions. You can't have aircraft, you can't have a bunch of different characters. You can't have named characters, you can't have commissars, can't have adhumans, scions, or aircraft, and I think that's a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think
they should be able to have adhumans, that's dumb. But yeah.
Yeah, you can run a Baneblade, which is the real man's move, but not super competitive.
It's not very competitive. So you were talking about a certain Leman Russ, I believe, specifically the Demolisher. Yes. Is that right?
So the Demolisher, it's a niche pick, but I do kind of like it. It's reliably performed.
It offers something that the army doesn't have,
which is a big gun.
You don't have any big guns. You have mass good guns. But
we have good guns. We don't have big guns.
And a big gun is sometimes important.
Is the Demolisher 200 points? Yes. Easy, reliably killy?
Does it revive with the rule?
No, it does not revive.
It does not revive.
None of the Astra Militarum stuff revives.
Yeah, so that's the downside. I think it's...
It's not good, but it is interesting.
I think it's better. I think it's right above the Locust.
So, it does do the Goliath's job better, the Rockbinder's job better than it, but it is
Would you say that it's the
more?
Would you say if you're gonna take a Brood Brothers unit, it's the best one to take?
Yes. If I bring Brood Brothers, it's almost always this thing or a Basilisk, and the Basilisk is situational.
If someone wasn't you, and they weren't making the very specific you choices, do you think it's objectively the best?
I think it's probably the best pick. There's no reason for you to run the infantry, because your infantry is better. And remember, you're not getting orders anyway.
I've seen you run command squads, so you
Yeah, for there was a while where I didn't realize I couldn't hand out orders with the command squad, so we're not going to talk about that. I thought you could give orders, but they can't give orders.
That's
never run the infantry. The infantry is useless. It's all useless.
I think that's going to be it, everybody. We will be releasing lots of these videos, so hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. We are going to have a public Discord server where you can talk with any of us in the description, but that is obviously going to be, it has not been created yet at the time of this, and we are going to be a brand new channel, so obviously there are not going to be very many people in it yet, but if you want to talk to us about any of the videos or any competitive stuff or share any lists, we will be happy to help you and be there. This channel is, of course, meant for the youth of Warhammer to help you guys stay competitive, but obviously anybody is welcome to take our advice or critique it, especially down in the comments. See you guys in the next one.